When I was a kid, we never used sonar for fishing through the ice. All we did is we'd take a heavy lead weight, attach it to our teardrop, find out where the bottom was, and we'd fish a few inches off bottom. That's the only place we ever fished for bluegills. These days, I fish anywhere in the water column where I'm marking fish, and with the advantage of having sonar, I can see where those fish are in the water column. Just a minute ago, that fish I caught was right tight to bottom, and I could see the flasher was indicating that there was a fish right tight to bottom. I pulled my teardrop up just a few inches off bottom, and that fish came right up after the teardrop. I stopped it, he bit, I set the hook, and we caught him. Now that was pretty typical of what often happens in bluegill fishing, but if a fish comes on the screen 3, 4, 5 feet off the bottom, I know instantly he's there, and I can raise my teardrop up and catch him. The highest I've ever caught a bluegill in the water column, I've caught him as close to the ice as 2 to 3 feet below the ice. So without sonar, you would never know. You would absolutely never know those fish were there. So in order to catch those fish, you have to have sonar. It's critical. Now you can use a flasher, you can use a liquid crystal, or if you prefer, you can use actual underwater video. All three work very well, and many people will double up and use 2 at a time. My preference for ice fishing is a flasher, but it's just my personal preference. The other styles of sonar work very well. One of the other important things to understand about sonar is when you're watching a sonar unit while you're ice fishing, you see what happens down there. You see a fish come into the hole, you can see your teardrop, you can see the fish. So what it does is it makes you on guard. Now you can't actually physically make a fish bite, but you can be ready when the bite happens. That way when it happens, you set the hook and you've got a very good likelihood of catching that fish. If you get surprised by a bite, you're likely to miss the fish. So sonar, not only just knowing that the fish are there, but being ready when the bite happens. It's a big deal. Drew, I noticed that you're fishing a kind of unique rig there. You want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, actually, what I got going here is I got 2 hooks on one line. I separated them about 1.5 feet. On the bottom here, we got a horizontal jig, and on the top here, I got a vertical jig. The reason being is a lot of days out here, the fish are scattered throughout the water column, and if I have 2 jigs, if one's not seen by the fish, maybe, or the bottom one's not seen by the fish, maybe the top one will be. And it also increases the odds that maybe you get 2 fish on one line, which on these really light rods and reels and line is a lot of fun just to catch one.
Cool. Well, that doubles up your chances of getting a bite.
Exactly.